As a first-time homebuyer, have you considered becoming a landlord to offset some of the expenses and soften the blow of rising interest rates? Stay right there. When I get back, I'll be talking about different options for you. Hey guys, it's Millennial Market Talk, and I am Mark Jones, your millennial mortgage expert. And today I'm going to be talking to you guys about leveraging your FHA loan or approval for becoming an investor. And most of you are probably thinking, me, an investor? It's my first time. But here's a couple of reasons why you may consider this option. So in my last couple of segments, guys, I talked to you about getting creative, not being complacent and getting discouraged with what's going on in the market and thinking of different ways to go about this. But at the same time, guys, think about the concept. You would be living in one of the 2 or 3 or 4 units and essentially charging for the other units. That, in essence, is generating income and cash flow for you to pay the remainder of the mortgage payment and sock away the rest for potential uh-oh moments. So having to make the decision of renting versus buying, I used a couple of basic tools in order to compare apples to apples. So some of you out there may be thinking, well, where are these types of properties? I did a quick search. As I jump into realtor.com here, the next step would be to adjust your home search. If you are currently searching for properties and you have a realtor, reach out to them and let them know that you may be interested in multifamily units. And as I jump into a quick home search by realtor.com, all I'm doing is changing the settings on here. And what I did is I ran a search for 450,000 and below and multifamily units only, coming up with approximately, I think it's 119 potential units available right now. And this is just in the inner city of San Antonio, not outside of 1604 just yet. So I'll just click on one here. Let's go 375,000. For this property that you see here, 4-bedroom, 2-bath. So after clicking on that one property, which was listed at 375,000, 4 bedrooms, 2-bath, looks like the square footage is at 1587. If you're somebody single, maybe even small family that is able to live in potentially one side of this, and it looks like it has 2 units. As you can see, the separation with individual doors and access ways, it allows you to potentially rent out this other unit. I want to continue to utilize this map that I'm using here in San Antonio with the filter. Let's look at this 279,900 property. Again, 1,500 square feet. Another one here, price cut, new construction, 1,700 square feet. Here's one for 429,000. So if you're looking at the upper end of the spectrum with this, here is a potential property that you can live in the first unit and then rent out the second. We're looking at 11 potential bedrooms. Definitely a multifamily unit, has been on the market for 87 days. Let's look at some of the property details on this one. Fantastic investment opportunity, 5 units total. Wow. So looking at that, guys, you would be able to rent out an additional 4 units. Let's say you needed to occupy 2 of the units for yourself. That gives you an additional 3 units to rent out, and thus making yourself some passive income. That being said, guys, are you even considering looking at this type of property in order to accomplish the goal of home owning? So if I jump into a mortgage calculator just to determine how much home could I buy for that same type of payment that I was considering. Let's say you were considering an $1,800 payment. So if we type in, let's utilize that property that we were talking about just a moment ago. So we put 300,000 as a price. Looks like we're playing with a 4.5 interest rate, 30-year fixed. And it looks like if we put 3.5% down, we're playing with a rough estimate of $1,887 as far as a mortgage payment goes. So you're right in line. And that being said, you have 2 units available. So if you're looking at a, let's say, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom place, more than likely you'll be able to bring approximately, let's say $1,500 to $1,000 just for the other side of the unit that you're renting out. therefore offsetting plenty of the mortgage payment or even sometimes the entire mortgage payment, which allows you as the new landlord to potentially save money in addition to your mortgage payment being covered. As we continue in time, our market here in San Antonio is not going to go backwards, and I don't want you guys to miss out on your opportunity to own a piece of the American dream, especially when we're talking about leveraging your current approval with FHA financing to gain more equity, offset your current living expenses, and gain some positive equity and cash flow for the future. Some advantages of using an FHA financed is the low down payment. You can put as little as 3.5% down when financing. Another advantage is it allows for down to 580 credit score. So if you're currently not around the 580 credit score range, get with our team at LaCanteraLoans.com and we'll set up a plan for you to get on track. And sooner is better, especially when dealing with rising prices and rising interest rates. Another advantage of FHA financing is it allows for a higher debt to income ratio threshold. For those of you that are looking in, let's say, max approval range of 45%, this will allow you to increase it upwards of 56% in regards to your total liability ratio. That's okay, guys, because we understand as lenders that you will have additional units to rent out that will offset your potential expenses. In addition, we can order what is considered a rent schedule when we order the appraisal. And those funds, it does basically an average market analysis on what you can potentially get on the other unit or other units as far as income. And then you can actually utilize this for your income when qualifying for a mortgage. Most people don't know that, guys. I wanted to go over a couple of advantages of becoming an actual landlord. Number one, it nearly is passive income, guys. You essentially are being able to obtain income revenue by way of having the property and just utilizing your approval and your ability, what you've worked hard to do, to potentially gain more equity faster. The equity and value in the property that you are gaining by someone else putting that into your property is unmatched by you potentially going the other route of renting. Number three, it is a tax deductible business expense. You now become a landlord. There are things that you can write off, such as depreciation and other items, but please contact your CPA if you want to know more about that. It is definitely a great long-term investment, especially if you're planning on continuing to purchase more. You can do this over and over as long as you live in one of the units. And I think finally, guys, the most important thing is it pays for itself. If you have put yourself in a position to qualify for, let's say, $300, $400, under $420,000, which is the max loan amount that you can have for an FHA finance loan, you should highly consider this as an option. Mortgage interest rates continue to rise, and without an end in sight, it's important for you guys to not lose focus on completing your dream of becoming a homeowner. And most of you home buyers out there are seriously considering switching over to possibly renting for the next couple of years, thinking that the interest rates are going to come back down or the values in our area are going to go backwards. Newsflash, guys, that's not going to happen. So here is an option that you should consider when becoming a homeowner. I have helped many folks in this same situation, and 2 to 3 years later, they actually continue to keep these properties as investment property and rent out the others to essentially offset the expense that's inherent with owning a home. With interest rates rising, it will help you purchase more home, and in some cases, you actually can utilize the income for qualifying. So I hope you got a little bit out of this. I think that if you are considering buying, if you are in the debacle or conundrum about renting versus buying, there's plenty of data here to help you make your decision. We'll catch you for the next one. Make sure to like and subscribe and set the alerts button for new videos that I'm coming out with. I'm putting these videos out to educate as many homeowners or potential homeowners as possible. In my opinion, it's always a better idea or decision to buy versus rent. I personally started with a USDA loan, 100% financing that allowed me to turn that into our first investment property with zero down, guys. Later on, we actually sold that property and made about $50,000. It's what started the entire empire that we're building today. So I hope some of this stuff can help you. And if so, please like and subscribe. That being said, I am Mark Jones, your millennial mortgage expert.